My friend, my brother, my sister, listen closely, for we are not here by accident. You were not born in this hour by chance. You are living in the days foretold by the prophets, the days when light and darkness clash, and the soul of man is tested in the fire. And in these times, these perilous, prophetic, powerful times, you are called not to tremble, but to stand, not to shrink back, but to rise up, not to doubt, but to believe, and to believe with confidence. But how do we become a confident believer in a world that assaults our faith, mocks our hope, and wears down our spirit? You are not an accident. You are not the sum of your failures, your fears, or your past. You are not what the world says you are, not what your mistakes have named you, not what your wounds have whispered. No, you are something far greater, far deeper, far older than all of that. Before you ever drew a breath, before your first tear ever fell, before you faced your first battle, He knew you, He formed you, He called you. You are a child of the covenant. That covenant didn't begin with you. It didn't begin in your generation, your culture, or your family line. It began long ago when a man stood under the heavens in a desert place, and God said to him, "Look up, count the stars, if you can, so shall your descendants be." That man was Abraham, and you, yes, you, are one of those stars. You are not a stranger to God's plan. You are a continuation of a promise forged in eternity and sealed in blood. But this covenant was not sealed with the blood of bulls or goats. It was sealed with the blood of the Son, the spotless Lamb, Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Messiah. And because of that blood, the veil was torn, the curse was broken, and the covenant became personal. Not written on tablets of stone, but written on the tablets of your heart. Do you understand what that means? It means that your identity is not tied to this passing world. You don't belong to the kingdom of fear or anxiety or failure. You belong to the kingdom of promise. The covenant makes you not a servant only, but a son, a daughter, an heir. It means that when you speak, heaven listens. When you pray, the throne room shifts. When you rise with the authority of the king. And yet, the enemy wants you to forget. He wants you to think you're just getting by, just surviving, just too broken to matter. But remember this, the covenant does not depend on your strength. It depends on His. It is not upheld by your perfection, but by His faithfulness. That's why you can walk in confidence, not because you are mighty, but because you are connected. You are in covenant with the Almighty, and that changes everything. Your past cannot rewrite it. Your weakness cannot undo it. Your doubts cannot dissolve it. The covenant is stronger than your fear. It's deeper than your shame. It's higher than every mountain you face. So rise up. Stop living as though you are merely tolerated by God. You are chosen, called, and covered. Your life is not small. Your destiny is not random. You are not walking this road alone. You are walking it as a covenant child of the King of Heaven. And if that's true, and it is, then you have every right to walk with your head high, your heart firm, and your spirit ablaze, because you are not just a believer. You are a child of the covenant, and nothing on earth or under it can change that. You are His. Walk like it, speak like it, believe like it. The world is loud, it rushes, it demands, it pushes you to move faster, perform better, do more, be more. It measures worth by outcomes, identity by productivity, and peace by the absence of conflict. And if you're not careful, you begin to breathe in that same rhythm, the rhythm of pressure, pressure to succeed, pressure to appear strong, pressure to have it all figured out. But here's the truth the world doesn't understand. Pressure was never meant to be your atmosphere. The presence of God is. The presence of God is not a place of performance. It is a place of being, a place where striving ceases, where masks fall away, and where your soul finds its truest home. It's not found in the noise, but in the stillness. Not in the approval of men, but in the whisper of the Spirit. Not in running harder, but in sitting deeper. Think of Moses. He wasn't transformed in the halls of Egypt. He was transformed on the mountain, in the silence, before a bush that burned but was not consumed. God didn't speak to him in the crowd. He spoke to him alone in the wilderness when everything else had been stripped away. Or David, the warrior, the king, the giant's lair. But before he ever held a sword, he held a harp. Before he ever fought in public, he worshipped in private. He learned God's voice not in the roar of battle, but in the stillness of the sheepfold, beneath stars, where only the shepherd and the sheep could hear his song. You see, confidence does not grow in the soil of pressure, it grows in the soil of presence. True strength is not born in chaos, but in communion. The world says, push through, but the Spirit says, be still and know, not just know intellectually, but know deeply, intimately, relationally. You don't find your worth in the outcome of the day. You find your worth in the gaze of the one who formed you, the one who is not impressed by what you do, but is in love with who you are, the one who calls you to sit before he ever sends you to stand. And yes, the storms will come, the pressures of life will knock at your door, but you are not called to bow to the storm. You are called to carry the presence, and when you dwell in the presence, something changes. The atmosphere within you becomes greater than the atmosphere around you. Peace begins to reign where fear once ruled. Clarity comes where confusion used to shout. The presence quiets the pressure, so come away. Not just once, not just on Sunday, but daily. Make space, shut the door, lay aside the demands of the world and enter the holy hush of heaven. Speak his name. Yes, you are Jesus. Let his nearness wash over you. Let his word read you. Let his voice anchor you. This is not a place of escape. It is the place of empowerment. The ones who change the world are not the ones who bow to its pressure, but the ones who dwell in God's presence. You don't need to keep proving yourself. You need to keep pursuing him. Let the world run in circles. You have a better rhythm, a deeper calling, a sacred place, and in that place you will find confidence, not the kind that shouts with pride, but the kind that walks in peace. The kind that knows who walks beside you, the kind that never leaves the presence even when walking through pressure. Because once you've tasted the presence, you'll never be satisfied with anything less. Too often, we live as if we are still waiting to see if the battle will be won, as if the outcome is uncertain, the ending unwritten, the victory hanging in the balance. But that is not the way of the kingdom. That is not the way of faith. You are not called to fight for victory. You are called to fight from victory. You are not stepping onto a battlefield wondering if God will come through. You are standing on ground already claimed by the blood of the Lamb and the power of the cross. The enemy wants you to live like a victim, not a victor. He wants you to walk timidly, to speak hesitantly, to pray fearfully. But heaven is calling you to rise up and walk boldly, not because you are strong in yourself, but because the battle is not yours. It is the Lord's, and he has already won. When Jesus hung on the cross, it looked like defeat. The sky grew dark, the earth shook. Hope seemed buried in a borrowed tomb. But on the third day the stone rolled away, and the Lion of Judah rose. The resurrection was not just the reversal of death. It was the declaration of total, irreversible victory over sin, over shame, over fear, over every chain that ever tried to hold you back. And now, because of that victory, you walk as one who is more than a conqueror, not because of what you've done, but because of what he's done in you. That means your past no longer has the authority to define you. The voices of fear no longer have the power to direct you. The circumstances of your present do not have the right to determine your destiny. You are not waiting to win. You are learning to walk like someone who already has. And that changes everything. It changes the way you pray. You no longer pray as a beggar hoping to be heard, but as a child who knows the door to the throne room is already open. It changes the way you speak. You no longer speak words of worry, defeat, or self-doubt. You speak life, truth, Scripture, and the promises of God. It changes the way you face trials. You no longer wonder if God will come through. You remember that He already has. And because He was faithful then, He will be faithful now. Even when the storm is still raging, you worship like the sky is clear. Even when the answer hasn't come, you praise as if it already has, because the cross was enough. The empty tomb was enough. The Spirit living in you is enough. This is not denial. It's not pretending life is easy. It's declaring that no matter how fierce the fire, the one who walks with you in it is greater than the flames. When David faced Goliath, he didn't run at him to see what would happen. He ran at him because he knew what would happen. He said, "The battle is the Lord's." That is the posture of someone who lives like the battle is already won. So let that posture become yours. Stop waiting to feel qualified. Stop waiting for everything to be perfect. The tomb is already empty. The Spirit has already come. The kingdom is already advancing. It's time to live like it. Wake up each day not with fear, but with fire. Speak not from your struggle, but from your sonship. Fight not with the fear of defeat, but with the assurance of victory. You are not hoping to make it. You are moving forward as one who already has. The world is watching for a people who do not flinch in the face of the battle, who do not stagger in the presence of giants, who do not cower when the shadows come close. Let that people be you. Let that people be us, the ones who walk with resurrection in our bones, with the Spirit in our lungs, and with victory written across our lives. The cross has spoken. The grave is defeated. The battle is won. Now live like it. So rise up, child of the covenant. Dwell not in the noise of doubt, but in the presence of the Almighty, and walk as one who has seen the end, and knows the battle is the Lord's, and the victory is already won. You were born for such a time as this. Be not afraid, be not ashamed, be not silent. You are a confident believer, a light in the darkness, a voice in the wilderness, a warrior of the King. Go forth. Believe, and let the fire of heaven burn in your bones.